Okay, before I get into this video, I just wanted to give you guys like a huge thank you. A week ago, my channel finally reached 500,000 views. Oh my goodness, like my first YouTube video turns 10 years old this October, and after all these years, my channel has finally cracked like over 500,000 views. Like guys, that is ridiculous. Like seriously, I cannot thank you all enough. That's amazing. But anyway, it's TVB, and I'm here today to just give like my quick mini review on Missing, the latest like horror thriller that came out this January, as well as give you guys my like just like my quick thoughts on the Academy Award nominations this year. The Oscars ceremony is gonna be in March, and I actually was at the mall. I was waiting in line to buy my ticket to see Missing. I got to text my friend Danny, being like, "Yo, like the Oscar nominees are here. Like you should make a video like reacting to it." And I was like, "Ooh, maybe I should." So tonight I decided to just kill two birds with one stone and give you guys my quick mini review on Missing. Missing is it's directed by the same guys who edited the film Searching, which is another like horror thriller with a very similar like format and premise to wait, oh my gosh, I'm gonna get these two movies mixed up. Missing is directed by the same guys who edited the film Searching, which came out in 2018. Searching is a film I have not watched, but I've heard praises for it over years. Like, both films have similar formats. Like, Searching was other, like, dad is looking for his missing daughter, and it's just, it's all filmed where it's just, like, you see him, like, on his faces, like, on the computers and the cell phones that he's using, and it's just his face, like, through the, the built-in camera on those apps. Same thing here, only it's the other way around. Like, it's this daughter, played by Storm Reed, looking for her mother who went missing with her boyfriend in Colombia on vacation. Yeah, I gotta say, Storm Reed as an actress, the oldest film I remember her being in, I don't know if it was, like, her acting debut. It was A Wrinkle in Time back 2018. That film was not that good. So I gotta say, Storm Reed has come a very long way within the past 5 years, because she was phenomenal in this film. She's very relatable. She's this 18-year-old girl, and her parents just went missing, and she's reaching out to law enforcement, doing whatever she can to like rescue her mom. And again, the editing was flawless. I felt like I was there with her in the certain scenes, especially when she like forgets her password, or like she's trying to like remember passwords and stuff like that, or she's like trying to answer phones at the right time. Like the thrills, like there's a lot of it's missing. Not Searching. Okay, Missing is a film that's difficult to talk about without spoiling it. I was on the edge of my seat the entire time, and it subverts your expectations at a few scenes, and it builds you up, and then like has you, oh, you thought this was gonna happen, nope, we're doing this to you instead. It's just overall a very well executed film, and if I had to like put it on my old rating scale of like 0 to 9, I gotta say it's a solid 7 out of 9 stars. It's a really likable film that I recommend you guys watching. And I like between this and Megan, and I haven't seen Plane yet, but I've heard really good things about that film as well. I'm just like, these are all January releases, and they all have such like fresh ratings from the critics and films that I really like. I'm like, this is January, right? Like, when are studios gonna shoot out all the really bad movies this year? Like March or April or something? Well, time will tell, I guess. Anyways, just wanted to disclaim something. I will not be giving my thoughts on every single like Oscar category. If you want like a full list of all the categories and nominations, I left a link in the description down below. First up, we have Best Supporting Actress. We have Angela Bassett for Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. Yeah, I'd say that's deserving. Hong Chow for The Whale. I haven't watched The Whale yet, but I want to, like, for Brandon Fraser. I know he's also nominated for Best, like, Leading Actor in that film. Hey, awesome for Brandon Fraser and his comeback. Carrie Condon for The Banshees of Inisherin. Oh gosh, I heard the proper pronunciation for that title for that movie, and I forgot already. I'm butchering it, so I want to apologize in advance. Jamie Lee Curtis and Stephanie Sue for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Like, Everything Everywhere All at Once is leading this year with 11 nominations, including Best Picture. I'm so happy for that, because that was my favorite movie of 2022. Like, that was such a fantastic film, and I hope, I'm really happy it's getting the love that it deserves. Next, we have Best Costume Design. We have Babylon, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. Again, I haven't seen Babylon or Elvis or Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. I've heard, like, Babylon, I've heard very mixed things about. I've heard pretty good things about Elvis and Mrs. Harris Goes to Paris. So, yeah, like, I can't really have any complaints here. I think Black Panther Wakanda Forever was a very, like, well, it was very well shot, and the costumes, yeah, I like the costumes of that film, and same to Everything Everywhere All at Once, especially with the scene where the teenage daughter, played by Stephanie Sue, I believe, is like dressing up in different outfits. I thought that was it worked both for the film's narrative and also had some good humor. Like, her mother looks at her, like, why do you look so stupid? That was funny. The nominations for Best Sound are All Quiet on the Western Front. Haven't seen it, but I did watch bits of the original film. I understand. I believe this is a remake of the film All Quiet on the Western Front. I remember watching like parts of that film in history class when I was in high school, so I should probably give this one a watch. Avatar: The Way of Water, deserving. The Batman, definitely deserving. Elvis and Top Gun Maverick. Top Gun Maverick, definitely deserving. I'm banking on Top Gun Maverick to win the Oscar. Again, I haven't seen Elvis or All Quiet on the Western Front, but between these films I have seen, I think Top Gun Maverick had beautiful sound work, and I think it deserves nomination. I'm just going to disclaim this right now. I think the film, between my favorite films that came out in 2022, I can understand, like, why most of them did not receive Oscar nominations. I'm thinking about films like, Prey and Barbarian and Jackass Forever and The Bad Guys. I can understand why those films didn't receive any Oscar nominations, but I think it's really disappointing, me personally, that The Northman was completely snubbed this year, because I remember when my friend and I saw that movie back in April, I saw everything that was happening, and I was like, yep, this is gonna receive a lot of Oscar nominations when the award season comes around. Best Actor for Alexander Skarsgård, Best Sound, seriously, the scene in The Northman, when, like, I talked about this in my, like, top 9 favorite movies of 2022 review, and I'll say it again here, that scene when, like, Amleth gets the vision where the Valkyrie is, like, taking him to Valhalla, and she, like, screams, sings at the sky, and it's like, it's operatic. Again, it sounded so, like, unworldly, and I was like, yep, just give this film the Oscar for, like, best, like, sound editing and mixing already, because, like, I cannot imagine a Valkyrie sounding anything else unlike that. That's just my opinion, at least. I mean, I'm really bummed out that Northman wasn't up for any awards this year. I mean, it also bombed at the box office, so, but I'd like to believe that it's a film that's gonna get a cult following. Just saying. So for Best Original Score, we have All Quiet on the Western Front, Babylon, The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and The Fabelmans. I have not watched The Fabelmans. It's like I hear it's a semi, like, autobiographic film of, like, Steven Spielberg, and he directed himself. Of course, Steven Spielberg, Oscar darling. He's just the Spielberg touch. I'm sure it's a great film. I should probably give it a chance. And Everything Everywhere All at Once, again, had a fantastic score, just like everything else about his films. I'm glad to see it nominated here. And for Best Original Screenplay, which is my favorite Oscar category personally, we have The Banshees of Inisherin, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly, and Triangle of Sadness. Again, the only film I've seen here is Everything Everywhere All at Once, unfortunately. But yeah, I really hope that film wins the Oscar for Best, like, Original Screenplay, because that film touches base on the whole, like, multiverse concept better than, like, Marvel has done within the past few years. And it's just the script, the writing, just, again, it blended sci-fi, action, comedy, drama, romance, the multiverse, and these are really complex themes, but packaged it in a way that was, like, digestible for people and that didn't force them to think too much, which I think was the writing in that film was just brilliant. For Best Supporting Actor, we have Brendan Gleeson for Banshees of Inisherin, Brian Tyree Henry for Causeway, Jude Hirsch for The Fabelmans, Barry Keoghan for Banshees of Inisherin, and Ke Huy Quan for Everything Everywhere All at Once. I already hear that Ke Huy Quan, again, if I'm mispronouncing these guys' names, I'm terribly sorry. I know that he already won the Golden Globe for Best Supporting Actor. I'm very pleased to hear that, because, again, that scene when he has, like, the whole, like, the belt buckle, like, fight scene in Everything Everywhere All at Once was just badass and so well choreographed. And again, the acting was just superb in that film. I'm just really happy that my favorite movie of this year is getting the attention it deserves. And for Best Adapted Screenplay, we have All Quiet on the Western Front, Glass Onion, and Knives Out Mystery. Man, I have no reason not to watch that film. I feel like for Glass Onion, and I haven't seen it yet. It's on Netflix, and I really should watch it when I get a chance. Living and Top Gun Maverick, deserving, and Women Talking. The only one of these films that I have seen is Top Gun Maverick, and yeah, I'm very happy that it's because that screenplay was just, again, I haven't watched the first Top Gun, but Top Gun Maverick definitely made me want to do so. It's a legacy sequel where it's written away where you don't need to know anything about the first film to know what's going on. But Top Gun Maverick, I get the relatability because he's, with that Tom Cruise had to go through in that film and how he bounced off of the new characters. Yeah, the writing was just brilliant. Best original song, we have Applause from Tell It Like a Woman, Hold My Hand from Top Gun Maverick, Lift Me Up from Black Panther Wakanda Forever, Not To from RRR, and This Is a Life from Everything Everywhere All at Once. Interesting choices. I haven't watched Tell It Like a Woman or RRR, but I have heard praises for RRR, and I should probably give it a chance. I've considered making a video, I'll watch as many Oscar nominees as I can and give a video, give my brief mini reviews for it, because RRR, I understand, it's an Indian film and it's a musical, and I've heard praises for it. And yeah, Top Gun Maverick, Black Panther, Wakanda Forever, and Everything Everywhere All at Once all had brilliant soundtracks. I'm glad to see them all here. Best Animated Feature Film. This was the Oscar this is a category that I was excited for the most this year. We have Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, deserving. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, deserving. Sea Beast and Turning Red. I'm kind of disappointed that The Bad Guys isn't nominated for Best Animated Feature Film, because both this and The Last Wish had no business being as great as they were, and I was kind of hoping that the Academy would pit, because we've had Disney versus Disney in the past and Pixar versus Pixar in the past. We haven't had DreamWorks versus DreamWorks over the Best Animated Feature Film category. I was hoping that they'd do that this year, but I can't really say I'm surprised they didn't. But yeah, I think the film is what I think is going to win this Oscar is going to be Del Toro's Pinocchio, because it won the Golden Globe for Best Animated Feature Film. And yeah, Pinocchio was a beautiful movie. It's hard to watch. It's definitely darker than other Pinocchio adaptations we've had. But yeah, just excellent, flawless animation, great voice cast, and all that jazz. I think it's gonna win. But what I think should win is Puss in Boots: The Last Wish, because that, again, like I said, I was optimistic going into that film. It's not a film I had properly reviewed, but it blew my expectations out of the water. It's way better than the first Puss in Boots film, and it was just it was such a enthralling film. It was funny for the kids, and it was also probably the darkest DreamWorks film since the Prince of Egypt. Some scenes, I was freaked out by some scenes in this film, and I can't even imagine how much it scared the kids in the theater. And yeah, that was just a very entertaining film. Awesome voice cast. I'm really happy to see what DreamWorks puts out next. And Sea Beast, have not seen it. Again, I have no reason not to. It's on Netflix. Marcel the Shell with Shoes On, haven't seen that either, but I've heard really great things about that film. I mean, just from the trailer alone, Marcel looks and sounds adorable. I hear that Jenny Slate did a fantastic job voicing Marcel the Shell in that film. And I know I didn't get the chance to see Turning Red when it was released on Disney Plus back in March, but I did get on to watching it back in October, because my roommate at the time had Disney Plus, so she let me use her account to watch it. Turning Red, Academy, please don't give the Oscar to Turning Red, because Pixar has won so many Oscars for this category already, and there's just, again, I can tell you guys that Del Toro's Pinocchio and The Last Wish are both much superior to Turning Red. Again, Turning Red, it's a good movie. I liked it. I enjoyed it for what it was. Again, just compared to other Pixar films, I just think it's rather low caliber compared to other classics. Just me, at least. And next category for best makeup and hairstyling, we have All Quiet on the Western Front, The Batman, deserving. Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, deserving. Elvis, and The Whale. I really hope. I'm disappointed that X isn't nominated for this category. I really, because I was like banking on X being up for like this, makeup and hairstyling, because I had no idea that Mia Goth played the same, like, two characters in the same movie until like Pearl came out, that film's prequel. I was like, what? Mia Goth was like an old lady and, like, the young lady and that, like, film about like porn stars and slasher flicks and whatnot. Like, man, that was crazy. Just like, I hope that film receives the Oscar nomination for makeup and hairstyling. So I'm disappointed there. But at the same time, the Batman definitely deserves. Like, I think the Batman is going to win. But just again, I haven't seen All Quiet on the Western Front or Elvis or The Whale. But between that and Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, we have an MCU movie competing with a DC film. That's funny. I just like Colin Farrell as a Penguin in that film. I was just like, oh my gosh, he looks nothing like Colin Farrell. That's amazing. As for best film editing, we have The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, deserving, Tar, and Top Gun Maverick. I think Top Gun Maverick is gonna win this one for film editing, because I'm sure the editors were put through hell on that set to edit that film. Like, all the stunt work and the scenes of the airplanes in that film. Again, I think, honestly, actually, I think it's a my money's either on Everything Everywhere All at Once or Top Gun Maverick. I could easily see this Oscar going to both those films. Again, haven't seen the other films that have been up for this category, but yeah, Everything Everywhere All at Once and Top Gun Maverick had flawless editing, so I'm excited to see who wins it. And for best cinematography, again, I'm really disappointed that The Northman isn't up for this Oscar, especially because that film had flawless cinematography. But for the choices we have All Quiet on the Western Front, Bardo, False Chronicle, A Handful of Truths, Elvis, Empire of Light, Tar. I haven't seen any of these films, unfortunately, because I only have time for so many movies. But yeah, I imagine all these films are very well shot, so I'm giving the Academy a benefit of the doubt. They chose the right picks. Again, really disappointed that The Northman isn't here, because that film had really great cinematography. And as for best visual effects, we have All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Batman, Black Panther: Wakanda Forever, and Top Gun Maverick. The only film on this list I have not seen is All Quiet on the Western Front, but yeah, all those, like, the Batman and Wakanda Forever and Maverick are all like gorgeous films visually speaking, but they, like, if Avatar: Way of Water, I like, honestly, it's gonna take home the gold. Like, the like 13 years after the first like Avatar film, all the work, just the sheer amount of blood, sweat, and tears that everyone that set had to go through for the underwater motion capture for Way of Water, and just how real it looked. It was like the most real looking film, like the ocean in that film with all the alien sea creatures and the Na'vi kids swimming and playing in the water and the waves, and the motion capture performances, just like, seriously, just give the Oscar to, like, James Cameron already for that. And for best actor, we have Austin Butler as Elvis, Colin Farrell as the Banshees of Inisherin, Brendan Fraser as the Whale, Paul Mescal After Sun, and Bill Nye as in Living. Again, unfortunately I haven't watched any of these movies. I feel kind of ashamed for saying that, but I've heard praises for Brendan Fraser in The Whale, and I should definitely give that film a watch when I get the chance. Because Brendan Fraser, I mean, he was one of my favorite actors as a kid growing up, and for years we're like, hey, what happened to Brendan Fraser? And then he's back. He's made a comeback after all the hell that he's been through over the years, and yeah, I'm really glad to see him rocking it once more. And for best actress, we have Tar, Kate Blanchett and Tar, I should say. Ana de Armas as in Blonde. I understand that film's an autobiography from Marilyn Monroe, and I should probably give that film a watch. I haven't done so already. Andrea Riseborough for To Leslie, Michelle Williams in The Fablemans, and Michelle Yeoh for Everything Everywhere All at Once. Which, like, unfortunately, Everything Everywhere All at Once is the only, like, film I've seen in this category. Michelle Yeoh was just so great in that film as, like, the immigrant mother and everything she has to go through, so I hope she wins. And for best director, we have Martin McDonagh of The Banshees of Inisherin, Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert. Again, please forgive if I mispronounce any of these names. Everything Everywhere All at Once, Steven Spielberg and The Fablemans, Todd Field and Tar, and Ruben Östlund and Triangle of Sadness. Really bummed and also like surprised that James Cameron isn't up for Best Director for Way of Water, because again, just he's as patient as he is brilliant, and Way of Water just like cracked the $2 billion mark at the box office. It's now the sixth highest grossing film of all time, despite it not having like a super high box office performance its opening weekend. It just goes to show like word of mouth, like people just like praising it, praising Way of Water and how that spread, and now it just became like a box office juggernaut, just like the first film, which was the highest grossing movie of all time. I'm just like, James Cameron he poured his heart and soul into that film, and it paid off so excellently, both critically and financially speaking. I'm really disappointed that he's not up for Best Director, and also surprised. But yeah, again, the only film I've seen here is Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Daniel Kwan and Daniel Scheinert did a fantastic job directing that film. So I hope it goes to them at least. For Best Picture, the nominees are All Quiet on the Western Front, Avatar: The Way of Water, The Banshees of Inisherin, Elvis, Everything Everywhere All at Once, The Fabelmans, Tar, Top Gun: Maverick, Triangle of Sadness, and Women Talking. I have watched 3 of the films on this list: Avatar: Way of Water, Everything Everywhere All at Once, and Top Gun: Maverick. So yeah, I feel like I had the chance to see Elvis in theaters. I just didn't get around to doing so. I think I just chose to do other things when that film was released. And The Fabelmans, again, this 2022 was a very like busy and hectic year for me, and you only have time to watch so many movies. But yeah, those are. I hope Everything Everywhere All at Once wins. Between the 3 films here that I have seen, I would like to believe Everything Everywhere All at Once is the most likely of winning, considering it has the most nominations this year at 11 nominations. But yeah, we'll see how things play out. So yeah, there you guys have it. Those are my thoughts on the Oscars, on the Oscar nominees, that is. And I just understand that Jimmy Kimmel is hosting it once again this year, so hopefully he's funny in it. And yeah, this is my first time making one of these kind of videos in a very long time, actually, where I'm like giving you guys my thoughts on like the Oscar categories. I used to make videos like this, like on an annual basis. This is my first time doing so in like 3 years, which is kind of crazy to think about. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video. If you enjoyed it, give that thumbs up like button, please, and subscribe to my channel. My name is TVB9. You guys have a nice night. Stay beastly.